MacArthur, and the island hopping campaign in the Western Pacific. Dear listeners, good day. Welcome to today's special program. Today we will take you on a journey through time, back to the Western Pacific Theater during World War II, to explore a military legend filled with wisdom and courage, MacArthur and the island hopping campaign in the Western Pacific. In this grand chapter of history, Douglas MacArthur, a five-star general of the U.S. Army, led the Allied forces with exceptional strategic vision and unwavering determination. Through the innovative island hopping tactic, they gradually closed in on the Japanese mainland, laying a solid foundation for the ultimate victory in World War II. Now let us step into this thrilling history together and experience the wisdom and heroic deeds from those war-torn years. Introduction: the outbreak of war and MacArthur's rise. On the morning of December 7, 1941, the Japanese Navy launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, an event that shocked the world and marked the United States' official entry into World War II. Following the attack, Japanese forces expanded across the Western Pacific with lightning speed, occupying key areas such as the Philippines, New Guinea, and the Solomon Islands within just a few months. They established what seemed like an impregnable defense system. Faced with Japanese strongholds scattered across numerous islands, the United States and its allies found themselves in a strategic dilemma. Capturing each island one by one in the traditional manner would not only consume enormous manpower and resources, but also potentially prolong the war for years, severely weakening the Allied forces. It was at this critical moment that General Douglas MacArthur stepped forward. Born in 1880, this American military leader possessed extensive experience and exceptional leadership skills. Before the outbreak of World War II, he had served as a military advisor in the Philippines, gaining an intimate understanding of the geography and strategic situation of the Western Pacific. In early 1942, when the Philippines fell, MacArthur was forced to evacuate, but he left behind a resounding promise: "I shall return." This was not only a vow to the Filipino people, but also a testament to his firm belief in the Allied victory. Today, this promise has become a classic moment in World War II history. Facing the relentless advance of Japanese forces, MacArthur proposed the bold and innovative strategy of island hopping. This approach not only altered the dynamics of the Western Pacific Theater, but also opened a hopeful path for the Allied counteroffensive. So what exactly is island hopping? And how was it gradually implemented amidst the flames of war? Let us tell the story step by step. Strategic background: the wisdom and innovation of island hopping. Island hopping, as the name suggests, involves selectively capturing islands of significant strategic value across the vast Pacific theater while deliberately bypassing heavily defended but less critical Japanese strongholds. By establishing forward bases on key islands, the Allies could cut off Japanese supply lines, isolate their scattered forces, and ultimately force them to lose combat effectiveness without engaging in direct battles. The core of this strategy lies in achieving more with less and winning through intelligence, avoiding the enormous costs of traditional island-by-island assaults. Compared to conventional frontal assaults, island hopping demonstrated a high degree of flexibility and mobility. MacArthur vividly described this strategy: "We must act like chess players, leaping over insignificant pieces to directly target the opponent's king." This metaphor not only captures the essence of island hopping, but also reflects his foresight as a military commander. Historians widely regard the proposal of island hopping as a major breakthrough in Allied strategic thinking during World War II, as it fully leveraged the advantages of coordinated sea and air operations, maximizing the Allies' resources and firepower. In the Western Pacific Theater, MacArthur's island hopping campaign primarily focused on New Guinea and the Philippines. Meanwhile, U.S. Navy Admiral Chester Nimitz employed a similar strategy in the Central Pacific, with the two fronts complementing each other to exert comprehensive pressure on Japanese forces. The division of labor and cooperation between MacArthur and Nimitz became a crucial pillar of the Allied counteroffensive. Next, we will review how the island hopping campaign unfolded step by step through several landmark battles. Major campaigns: the glorious chapters of island hopping. Key Battle 1. The Guadalcanal Campaign, the starting point of the counteroffensive. On August 7, 1942, the Allies launched an amphibious assault on Guadalcanal in the Solomon Islands, marking the beginning of the island hopping campaign. Although this battle was primarily led by the U.S. Navy, its strategic significance cannot be underestimated. Located in the southern Solomon Islands, Guadalcanal was a critical stronghold for Japanese southward expansion. The Allies chose this location as the first battle of island hopping to cut off the Japanese route to Australia. In the early stages, the Allies faced fierce resistance from the Japanese. The tropical jungle, rampant malaria, and Japanese counterattacks made the fighting extremely arduous. However, after 6 months of intense combat, the Allies secured Guadalcanal in February 1943, eliminating thousands of enemy troops and destroying the Japanese supply network in the South Pacific. This victory marked the turning point from defense to offense for the Allies and laid the foundation for MacArthur's subsequent operations in New Guinea. Key Battle 2. The New Guinea Campaign, Steady Progress. From 1942 to 1944, MacArthur turned his attention to New Guinea, a vast island stretching between Australia and the Philippines. The Japanese had stationed a large number of troops there, intending to use it as a springboard for attacking Australia. MacArthur knew that controlling northern New Guinea would pave the way for the return to the Philippines. The first phase of the New Guinea campaign was the Bunagana Battle. From late 1942 to early 1943, the Allies engaged in a desperate struggle with the Japanese in the tropical rainforest. Due to the complex terrain and logistical difficulties, the Allies suffered heavy casualties but eventually captured the Buna and Gunna areas. Subsequently, MacArthur accelerated the offensive. In 1943, the Allies successively captured La and Finschhafen, using rapid landings and air support to cut off the Japanese retreat. By April 1944, the successful landing at Hollandia became the climax of the New Guinea campaign. With a swift surprise attack, the Allies bypassed the main Japanese forces, directly occupied this strategic location, and isolated the 100,000-strong Japanese garrison at Rabaul, turning it into a trapped beast. The victory in the New Guinea campaign fully embodied the essence of island hopping, avoiding the strong points and striking at the enemy's weak links. MacArthur proudly stated, "Every step we take in New Guinea is a leap toward victory." This phase not only weakened Japanese defenses in the Western Pacific, but also created the conditions for the return to Battle 3, the return to the Philippines, fulfilling the promise. On October 20, 1944, MacArthur led the Allied forces in landing on Leyte Island in the Philippines, fulfilling his promise from 2 years earlier, "I shall return." Standing on the shores of Leyte, he faced a microphone and declared to the world, "I have returned." This was not only a promise to the Filipino people, but also a bold challenge to the arrogant Japanese forces. The subsequent Battle of Leyte Gulf is considered the largest naval battle in World War II. The Allies assembled hundreds of warships and thousands of aircraft to engage in a life-and-death struggle with the Japanese combined fleet. During the battle, the Japanese employed kamikaze suicide attacks on a large scale for the first time, posing a threat to the Allied fleet. However, with the overwhelming advantage of coordinated sea and air operations, the Allies sank multiple Japanese capital ships, completely destroying their naval power. The victory at Leyte Gulf not only marked the pinnacle of the island hopping campaign, but also paved the way for the liberation of the entire Philippines. The return to the Philippines was the highlight of MacArthur's career. He not only achieved his strategic objectives, but also boosted Allied morale through his actions. As he put it, the liberation of the Philippines is a defense of freedom and a vindication of justice. Key Battle 4. The Battle of Okinawa, the prelude to victory. From April 1st to June 22nd, 1945, the Allies launched the Battle of Okinawa. Although primarily led by the Navy, this campaign held significant importance as the final phase of island hopping. Located just 550 kilometers from the Japanese mainland, Okinawa was an ideal base for bombing Japan. The Japanese deployed over 100,000 troops and resorted to even more fanatical suicide tactics. The Allies paid a heavy price, with casualties exceeding 50,000. However, after nearly 3 months of fierce fighting, the Allies captured Okinawa, preparing for subsequent strategic bombing and a potential invasion of the Japanese mainland. The victory at Okinawa directly led to despair among Japan's leadership and sounded the death knell for World War II. Implementation and challenges, the hardships behind the victory. The success of island hopping was not achieved overnight. It was fraught with numerous difficulties and challenges. First, the geographical environment of the Western Pacific was extremely harsh. Tropical jungles, heavy rains, and typhoons affected military operations, while diseases like malaria and dengue fever became invisible enemies for Allied soldiers. Second, Japanese resistance was exceptionally tenacious, particularly in New Guinea and the Philippines, where they often defended fortified positions to the death and used suicide attacks to delay the Allied advance. Moreover, logistical support was the greatest challenge. Across the vast Pacific, the Allies needed to transport supplies, fuel, and troops over thousands of kilometers. Ensuring the smooth flow of supply lines was a critical issue that MacArthur and Allied commanders had to address. To this end, the Allies deployed a large number of transport ships and aircraft, establishing an efficient logistics network. As military experts have noted, the victory of island hopping was not only a strategic triumph, but also a logistical miracle. Despite these difficulties, MacArthur, with his outstanding leadership and decisive decision-making, overcame one obstacle after another. His famous saying, "Victory belongs to those who dare to take risks," inspired the Allied troops and became a true reflection of the campaign's success. Historical significance, the far-reaching impact of island hopping. The island hopping campaign not only altered the course of World War II, but also had a profound impact on modern warfare. First, it demonstrated the critical role of flexibility and mobility in modern combat. Unlike traditional positional warfare, island hopping emphasized rapid response and strategic flanking, a concept later widely applied in Cold War military theory. Second, it highlighted the importance of coordinated sea and air operations, setting a precedent for modern joint military actions. For MacArthur personally, island hopping was the pinnacle of his military career. With exceptional strategy, MacArthur once said, "The purpose of war is peace." Today, as we look back on this history, we must not only honor the heroes who sacrificed for victory, but also cherish the hard-won peace. The experience of island hopping teaches us that wisdom and courage can overcome any difficulty, and that peace and cooperation are the path forward for humanity. Thank you for listening to today's program. Let us remember history and look forward to the future. We look forward to meeting you again. Goodbye.